Hello, welcome to Big Country Tractors. Today we're working on an Ariens St622, and this machine just wouldn't run, but I put a little gas in the air filter area, and I got it to kind of fire a little bit, so that told me it's probably, a real bad, dirty carburetor, so I ended up ordering a little kit that has, everything that's needed. It's pretty cheap on Amazon, so for like $18 you get a air filter and a carburetor and a spark plug, and they hook you up with just about anything extra. Plunger, the actual carburetor itself. This will be our first time changing a carburetor on something like this, but just looking at it, I could tell that this wheel is going to be in the way. So what I would do if I owned one of these, I'd probably tip it on its side and something like that. And then I would remove the wheel. Let's see if we can kind of navigate through. There'll be a nut on the other side of the wheel, so you just feel for it so it doesn't fall off the other side. There's your nut there, and I actually try to put it back together a little bit so we don't lose our parts there. So now I know when I grab that wheel, I'm gonna be looking pretty good. Air filter on this one is pretty nasty. That's why I'm so glad we got this kit here. All right, so it looks like there's some stuff on the top. Looks like this bolt needs removed too, but it looks like on the top of this one there's going to be some bolts that need removed. Okay, so let's take a look at this new carburetor, because I want to see if it has this one bolt here. I wanted to see it. Usually there's one on the other side, but yeah. So there's a bolt hiding back here. So yeah, so there's two bolts. Might have to remove that what's that little exhaust there? And that would probably be a 12 millimeter. I always keep like a little bin with me, just kind of find something. There's a 12, and it's. So we'll try to remove this real quick. This is all just trial and error. We'll find something here. It's a little on the big side. (7/16). That's what it is, 7/16. So we'll grab our little. We had a little converter there. Let's see. Okay, let's use our little ratchet deal. Grab this one. This is just for the exhaust. I just want to remove this just so we have access to that back bolt for the carburetor. I'm just doing it the easiest way I think it should be done without tearing stuff up, and we can always reroute. See, now we got a room to go in here to get that bolt off. So let's take a look. I think that's going to be let's remove some of this stuff on top. I think that's 8mm. There's a 9. It's a little too big. There's an 8. There's my little conversion thing I was wanting to use with the ratchet. Let's remove these couple little nuts here, or screws. There's one there. I'll put that in my drawer. Let's get a little extension. I don't think that socket's long enough. You know, you have stuff just laying here, and it's, oh, there's my extension right there. I think it's had that little thing of bolts. Let's just see if we can get it. There we go. Remove that. Kind of just like move this out of the way a little bit. And then I'll flip it back over. That just gives us room so we can operate the top of the carburetor. You can kind of see there's our fuel line right there. There's a bolt here and a bolt on the other side. Once we get this carburetor loose, we might be able to finagle it a little bit. In the meantime, we'll just lay it down. Find something to find the right socket there. Let's see what a 10mm looks like. That might actually work. There she is. I'm gonna take this side off right here. Put that in our little box here. And then go on the back side. That's going to be a nightmare to try to get back through. Gonna have to use an extension or something to kind of work it in there for the backside bolt there. Wow, that's gonna be kind of tight. So then on the top of this carburetor, it's in that first hole right up there in the corner, and then a couple gas lines, and then here's the rubbers. You can see it's pretty old. So what we'd want to do is just look in our new parts box here and lay the filter off to the side. We don't need that for a while. There's our new carburetor. And there's our new seal. So what we want to do is kind of take our bolt here, hold our new seal in place a little bit, just so we don't forget to put it on. There's our bolt on the back side. Just kind of work that seal in there. There we go. And then kind of see where this carburetor needs to go. There's a fuel line up there. There's a line on the back side. And there's the top corner there. So we just kind of, I would say you can unhook your line there, unhook your line on the back side. There's the line on the back side, and then this just kind of hooks in. We'll just unhook it, and there's our old carburetor. Surprisingly, that didn't take too long. And then here's our new carburetor. We'll put our gas line back on the back side here, and then I just use my fingers to kind of squeeze that and put that in place there. Little clamp. If we're slick enough, we might be able to slide this little nut right in here. So we'll try to slide. Actually, before we do that, let's not goof up, because we got to hook. Let's hook in the throttle here. There we go, we're hooked in there. Now we can worry about getting that bolt in on the other side, or nut. It's tight, but you can hold it. And then I get my ratchet, go the other way, slide it in here. There we go. We got a couple threads in. That's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Anyway, we want to make sure that we get everything tight just the way it was before. And that's going to be a 10 millimeter. We'll use on the back side here. That's tight. Don't want to over crank it with one of these. Just a little bit, just so you can see the carburetor gets sucked in. Nice and tight. There's your linkage stuff here. How it hooks in the top of the carburetor and runs over. And top and bottom one. The bottom one's a spring. The top one is for the lever there. And then this just goes back and forth from the hand control, and it lets it know how fast to let the engine run. Anyway, we're just almost there. We got 2 bolts on the top here. Just find those real quick. Usually I keep them right up here. There we go. There's one there. They're 8 millimeter, I believe. Sometimes I ramble on. I have to remember that we're just taking parts off and putting parts on, and sometimes I'll bump into something I kind of want to talk about, but I sometimes take stuff apart and then something comes undone or something. There we go. Not too tight. We want to make sure that, there we go. See, spring loaded. It's opening and closing the way it's supposed to. That's perfect. Now 7/16 is what we're gonna need to put that muffler back on. Don't forget that muffler. I always try to feel for the holes. There we go. I love this little converter. It's like a 3/8 to a quarter. And I just zip stuff together real fast with it and get to use some of my smaller stuff more frequent. There we go. And like I said, don't go crazy if you got one of these little air ratchets. They're just convenient to use. There we go. You can kind of feel for stuff. All right, so now we want to work on our air filter. Just lay stuff around. Here's our air filter here. There's our air tube back on. Make sure that's on. Our fuel line's on. It's tight. Air filter here. Kind of push that on. It's a tight fit. And then this locks in. There we go, all three. Or bam. So that's the carburetor replaced. And we're down to just the wheel. So we'll take the nut off there and put the wheel on. And that was, I used a 14 millimeter to kind of tighten that up. But I get all my stuff and I just kind of work out of a little area. Kind of makes it easy. There we go. So there's that all nice and tight. So what we're going to do now, that was a replacement of a carburetor. And we'll do a test here in a minute. But this has been Big Country Tractors. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe. And we'll get some more videos out there for you. This has been James talking. We're going to do a little outro with this Ariens here. Maybe doing a little bit of weed whacking. But anyway, until next time, this has been James. Talk to you later. Here we go. First start. Since we did the carburetor here, what we want to do is give it a couple primes, 3 or 4 primes. Come up here. I always do full acceleration. Engage it, pull it. That there runs really nice. Wow. See, we turn it down a little bit. There we go. Turn it back up. She runs good. This is Big Country Tractors. You just watched how to remove and replace a carburetor. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe. Thank you very much. Until next time.